Hello everyone, welcome to a video. So normally I do podcasts on Spotify, the Tech and Talk podcast, but occasionally I'll do a video. And this video is on the most important button bind for a law player. And I really see no law players at all do this. Well, besides me, I mean. But even at the highest level, they don't do this. And I really think law players should start doing this. It should be a standard thing because it can save you in a lot of situations. So what the bind is 2 plus 3, this bind. And so the reason why you want this bind, and the reason why I think most people have this bind, is for his his run throw, right? And so this is pretty good for your average button bind purposes, because it's a two button input, so it's slightly easier. But the real advantage and where it really comes into play is for slides. So what I'm saying is you should 150% use the 2 plus 3 button bind for slides. And the reason is because if you mess up the slide input, which literally every law player ever does, including the best law player in the world, whoever you think that is, they double messes up the slide input occasionally. And when you mess up the slide input, the most common miss input is full crouch 3. And full crouch 3 is a trash move. Like, you would never use full crouch 3 almost ever just as a move. And one of the worst parts about it is it's actually launch punishable on block. So that's horrific. So in case you mess up your slide, you are doing a move that does 12 damage and is also launch punishable. So if they guess right, you're getting launched. The other crazy thing about this move is its whiff recovery is insane. I don't know what level you have to get to in terms of Tekken, but whatever level it is, when people start whiff punishing this, they start realizing you messed up the slide and whiff punishing it. It is so easy. So we're gonna have this law here, kind of whiff. You have so much time to whiff punish this. Like, look at that. You can confirm. You can walk forward a bit. So I'm going to confirm. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to let him whiff. I'm going to walk forward. And it's still a punish. Okay, I'll do something slower. It is so bad on whiff, it's absurd. And so why would you use the 2 plus 3 button bind? Well, if you mess up the slide in the same way, you get down 2, which is 11 frames plus 7 on hit, as opposed to plus 3. So in case they're trying to press a button, you'll accidentally hit them. And the recovery difference is so unimaginably huge that it's worth, like, you're so much safer messing up this with down jab than you are with down 3. I can't, first of all, if they block it, you're safe. Second of all, let's just see how kind of difficult it's way. Do you see this? It's way harder to whiff punish on reaction if we try any of the other techniques. So let's be really on point. Okay, I'm gonna try really hard. There we go. So you have to be really on point to see that and whiff punish it. I mean, the difference is so. I don't even think you can whiff punish it with forward, forward, 4-3. Like, unless you kind of predict it. But I can't stress how big this is. Especially against higher level players who might see it and try and whiff punish it, thinking you would whiff to down 3, and gone for a punishable whiff punish. The other great thing about this is you can focus, when you're on range 0, you can focus a lot more on your while standing 2 mix-up because it's the same button. So while standing 2, you can also do with 2 plus 3, which means you don't have to have any sort of finger commitment when you're doing a slide, and you can totally just watch them. And it's the same button. So that is huge just from an ease of visually confirming a duck scenario. Yes, you can have two fingers on 2 and 3 at the same time, but when they're the same button, it becomes even easier. And another thing you might mess up, or not even mess up, you can just do the throw out of it. I'm not sure you would want to do this almost ever, but it's another option. And again, compare that to this. I think almost everyone would rather do, or if you do forward, the forward input, um, compare that to the armor. So now you're messing up and you're doing a the worst armor move in the game maybe, versus getting an accidental throw. And the final situation where this is super duper handy is when somebody does a pretty minus move and you're like, okay, now is my chance to initiate a slide mix up. And you're doing when someone does a really minus move, like you block it down forward too, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go for a slide mix up, you typically want to do the fastest slide possible, right? Or, just do while standing, right? And the situation again is what if they press? Like not accidentally. What if they're really minus and they just decide, whatever, I'm just gonna press again with a slower move? Well, let's just compare the scenarios here. So we're gonna have Law do down forward 2 into hammer, right? This is unexpected, but it is a reasonable thing. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try and slide this after down forward 2 as fast as I can. And I'm pretty fast. No matter how fast I go, I'll get counter hit by this. And now I'm going to do a down 3 mistake. No matter how fast my down 3 is, I'm going to get counter hit. Okay, well, not quite. But if I actually try the slide input and mess it up, I'll get counter hit. If I do as fast as I can, I won't. But with the actual slide input, you'll get counter hit. So now let's compare doing the actual slide input with the 2+3 bind and messing up. Okay, so you can actually see on my screen that I am trying the slide input and purposely messing up, for example. That was actually a slide. But as you can see, you actually get an interrupt or trade opportunity. So often if you do it as fast as you can and you really mess up, you can get a trade. But you can also sometimes even get away with messing up and getting a counter hit. So that's a huge difference, especially like in terms of safety. I really can't stress enough. The big one is the whiff punishing thing, right? Whiffing a slide and being able to get whiff punished by it. But I mean, this should be like all Law players should do this. I mean, it's such a important bind, and every time I see a Law player out here with that and get launched by something super slow, I'm just like, that was unnecessary, right? But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please, if you're a Law player, start doing this. It's a really good habit to get into. And again, because you're going to mess up a slide, and everyone, I think, would rather whiff this than whiff this. Or have this be blocked compared to this. But thank you for listening, and have a good day.